What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of my CD collection vid. Let's get started. The first CD I'm about to do today is Method Man-Tical, released in 1994 on Def Jam Records. You guys should know who Method Man is. He is, he is a member of the Wu-Tang Clan, one of the illest hip-hop groups of all time. He raps along with Redman and stuff like that. And yeah, this is actually his first solo debut album. And believe it or not, this is actually the first solo Wu-Tang album of all time. The singles I'm known for are Bring the Pain, which is a dope single, Release Your Delf, and All I Need to Get By, the remix, featuring Mary J. Blige. But see, that single was actually released a year after this album and stuff like that, because this album had really no radio friendly songs. So that single was actually released on the European version of the album. Yeah, I got it right. Other than that, it's a classic hip hop album. I'm not gonna front. This is known for its like dark, dusty production by RZA. And I think Fourth Disciple did some beats on here, if I'm not mistaken. It has that like really grimy basement kind of feel to it. It's kind of like a horrorcore kind of album. Like some of the production is kind of like has that horrorcore feel to it. Excuse me. Oh, fuck it. I love Shaggy, to be honest. Alright, what was I saying? Some of the beats kind of had like a horrorcore feel to it, and that's what I freaking love about it. Anyway, speaking of basement, to be honest, if you're a Wu fan, a Wu fanatic, you would understand that RZA's basement actually had a flood in it back in like 1994, and he was making like this album, and I believe Inspector Deck's Uncontrolled Substance. I believe another like that. Other than that, it's like most of the beats were like remastered and remixed, and yeah, that's the story right there. So other than that, it's a really dope album. I recommend this album for anybody if you're a Wu fan. In my opinion, this first two solo albums and the Blackout album with Redman are my favorite albums, like from Method Man, to be honest. I also have Sick Out 2000 in my collection, and most definitely I'm gonna cop Blackout and do a review on it. So Method Man-Tical, 1994. Next album is hands down one of my favorite R&B albums of all time. Isaac Hayes, the Shaft soundtrack, released in 1971 on Enterprise under Stax Records. You guys should know who Isaac Hayes is. Singer, producer, songwriter, and of course the voice of Chef from South Park. This is of course the soundtrack to the 1971 classic movie Shaft, the movie with Richard Roundtree and stuff like that. Definitely a classic movie. I gotta most definitely do a review on that movie one day. Other than that, it's a very dope soundtrack right here. In my opinion, a lot of people say this is Isaac Hayes' best work. Singles I'm known for are Theme from Shaft, Cafe Regio, and Soulsville. And the B-side, Let's Stay Together, I'll post a link to that. It's pretty dope. I think the cover of Al Green's song. Other than that, like, this is around the time when blaxploitation films were really popping around that time. Like, he had movies like Sweet Seymour's Badass Song, excuse me, Superfly, you know, movies like that. And this soundtrack actually made some history too, because it was actually the first double album of original studio material released by an R&B artist and stuff. And of course, excuse me. And of course, Isaac Hayes actually became the first African American to win an Oscar for a non-acting category for themes from Shaft. So that's really saying something, you know. Other than that, it's a really, really dope soundtrack. I would recommend this for everybody. This album was actually re-released in 2009. So pick it up. Isaac Hayes Shaft soundtrack. Oh yeah, and by the way, this album has been sampled continuously. Everybody from Big Daddy Kane to Notorious B.I.G. all the way to Dr. Dre. Continuing our tradition of 70s soul is Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, Wake Up Everybody, released in 1975. Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, everyone knows who they are. Philadelphia soul. You know, the first time like the group Teddy Pendergrass was in and stuff like that. This is actually a landmark album in Philadelphia soul. Very dope album. A lot of people said it's actually the best album, and I would kind of have to agree with it. Singles album is known for Wake Up Everybody and Tell the World how I feel about your baby. Yeah. And what else? One other song I love in particular, track number 3, You Know How to Make Me Feel Good with Sharon Page. Oh my god, that song is dope. Other than that, like, this is a very, very dope album, but this is actually the last time Teddy Pendergrass was involved with the group. Because, like, if we really look closely here, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes featuring Teddy Pendergrass, from what I read and from my watch from the Unsung documentary on Teddy Pendergrass, Harold Melvin was kind of like cruel to some of the group members, and he was kind of jealous of the popularity that Teddy was getting. And of course, like, you know, like when a famous group member, they'll have like that spotlight on them. They'll have that featuring this and that. So you can tell that Teddy Pendergrass was really getting bigger than the group, though. But and of course, like, from what I also read, like, Teddy Pendergrass was like fighting over money, and he thought he wasn't getting his right pay, and that Harold was like scheming money from the group, some stuff like that. Other than that, very dope album, produced by the legendary Gamble and Huff. All you guys should know about them and stuff like that. Excuse me. Alright, so Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, Wake Up Everybody, 1975. Definitely gotta get more of their albums. Next album is what I would call very influential, one of my favorite albums of all time. Miles Davis, Kind of Blue, 1959 on Columbia Records. Everyone knows who Miles Davis is. He's like one of the most complex jazz artists of his era, you know. He released many dope albums, broke a lot of barriers in jazz music, and this is like what arguably one of his most defining works. I would consider this album probably the same way people feel about Illmatic, and the same way people feel about this album, like the same way fans of hip hop thinks about that. It's the same way like jazz heads think about it. It's the Absol right there, Lust Demons. Back to this album. Anyway, Like you had like a very dope jazz people, like everybody from Julian, Cannonball Adderley, Paul Chambers, James Cole, John Coltrane, Bill Evans, Wayne Kelly. You couldn't go wrong. You can't really go wrong with this album, you know. And believe it or not, this is actually the best-selling jazz album of all time, and stuff like that. And like, what else? The other stuff I found about this album was his style. Miles tried to style previously on like his previous albums like that, and I think he said he matched his style on this album, stuff like that. So very dope. You have classic songs like Freddie Freeloader, So What, All Blues, and stuff like that. So, and this album was re-released and remastered countless times. I believe this re-release was from 1997, I believe. And what's cool about this album, is that you get some like really rare like studio session pictures. Pretty dope. Like that's why I love collecting CDs for. You can get really dope stuff and stuff like that. So for these days, people just want to download and stuff. But other than that, this is Miles Davis, Kinda Blue, 1959. Goodbyes, calling. Alright, next album is Redman-Dare Iz A DArkside, released in 1994 on Def Jam Records. A little trivia though, this album was actually released a week after Method Man's Man-Tical, so I thought I'd just throw that out there. Other than that, this is hands down one of probably Redman's darkest albums of his discography. And like, you know, you can tell by this album art, which was actually influenced by the Funkadelic album Maggot Brain. Like he was going through some stuff like the death of his friend, from what I looked up, and he was taking like a lot of like drugs around that time. Singles albums known for are Can't Wait and Rockefeller, which is the name of his friend. This album, it's gonna take you some time to like really get into. Cause I remember when I first heard this record, I was kind of like, it's alright. It's not really like the best one. Cause like my favorite Redman album at the time I first listened to it is Muddy Waters, and I mean it's not like I didn't hate the album. It's just that I kind of thought it was I knew it was something I would get into later. So I re-listened to this album a couple, like 2-3 years ago, and I completely loved it again. You know, had really dope songs like Bob Your Head to This, Superman Lover 2, which is actually the best Superman Lover he ever done, Cosmic Slop, What It Looked Like. You know, this song, it has like that grimy, out there kind of vibe to it, you know. So Redman-Dare Iz A DArkside, released in 1994. Expect a review on this album. Kool G Rap-4, 5, 6, released in 1995 on Cold Chillin' Records. Actually, the last album released on Cold Chillin'. You guys should know who Kool G Rap is. Hip hop legend. He used to rap. His first 3 albums were he had DJ Polo, basically the father of mafioso hip hop, multisyllabic style. Like everybody from like Big Pun to like Biggie was influenced by him. You know, so this is his first solo album without DJ Polo. Classic album. What else can I say? Has that nice New York mafioso vibe to it, hardcore tip. Singles albums known for are Fast Life featuring Nas. Check out the Buck Wild remix to that song. It's dope. And It's a Shame. You know, one more thing. The song Take 'Em to War with MF Rim is actually supposed to be a single, but from what I read, he got shot back in like '94, and I think they dropped the promotion of that single and stuff like that. Other than that, it's still a really dope album. I'm not gonna front. Like, this is Kool G Rap at his Kool G Rap, like reaching that legend status and stuff like that. Like, this album represents New York hip hop in the mid '90s to the fullest. This is a very dope album. I need to get some stuff from he did with DJ Polo. Last album. I might get some raised eyebrows for this one, but I don't care. This album is dope. It's Lionel Richie, Can't Slow Down, released in 1983 on Motown. Yes, you guys should know who Lionel Richie is. Member of the Commodores and stuff like that. This is actually his second solo album and stuff like that. This is a pretty dope album. I'm not gonna lie. This album had the 80s written all over it. Everything from the hair to the clothes. Singles albums known for are All Night Long, All Night. What else? Running with the Night. Hello. Very dope song, big single. Stuck on You. Penny Lover. And it had like a lot of B-sides to it too. Definitely his best album, stuff like that. This was released at a time when like Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Prince, the Gap Band, Rick James, like they were really taking over the charts at that time. So, and Lionel Richie was getting to that prime, like after the whole Commodores and stuff like that. He's trying to find his own style. This is actually the third best-selling album of 1984. It won a Grammy for album of the year, and it actually sold 15 million copies. And believe it or not, every single on this album entered the Billboard Hot 100 charts. So that's saying something. Like, this album is kind of like polished from his work from the Commodores. Like, he went for more of that easy, slow ballad kind of stuff. So, like, this is actually my favorite album. I love his stuff from the Commodores all the way to like this album's like hands down my favorite. But like when he did the whole Dancing with the Ceiling, that has some cool songs to it too, but you can tell he really ran more that commercial kind of side to it. But that's not taken away from his legacy in music. This is Lionel Richie, Can't Slow Down, 1983. Go pick it up. Alright, I have an announcement to make right quick. I can get this shit steady. Alright, before I close this vid, I want to like give some shout outs to some of my favorite YouTube channels that's like promoting hip hop and keeping like these are hip hop channels I watch, you know, for hip hop preferences only. Like everybody from like DJ Functional, who is known for his top 10 samples and stuff like that. Give It a Grade channel. They do dope reviews and their videos are funny as hell. Huff and Block, shout out to you guys. Dead End Hip Hop. I love their videos and stuff like that. The Rap Fan 2014. That dude at he talks some true shit though, I'm not gonna front. And Immobility 1, you know who you are. Love your vids and stuff like that. And that's all I have to say, so stay tuned for some more stuff, and those are the hip hop channels I love. Peace.